And welcome back to another episode of Life in Prison. My name's Zach, and if you're new, haven't already done it, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button so you'll be first informed when I upload. So today was going to be a little bit different. We're actually going to be doing an interview with my buddy. He did a little bit of military time and actually went into a military prison, the Brig, I do believe it's called, military term. So we're going to be speaking with my buddy Caleb over at Stone Collective Podcast. So this is going to be a little bit different because this is the first time we're going to be speaking on military incarceration. So any veterans out there or anyone that is enlisted, I greatly appreciate your support and you guys helping out the nation. So sit back, relax, enjoy this episode. As always, big shout out to Caleb over at Stone Collective Podcast. Go ahead and go and check that out. He started a new channel. Also, Stone Collective Supply Company over on Instagram. Shit's fire. Product is always booming, alright? As always, I send my utmost love, loyalty, respect. Keep y'all's heads up and have a good day. He's been in the military, Navy,
Yep.
And he's had a few experiences that did a little time of incarceration. So we're going to go ahead and divulge a little bit into this. So going backwards, I moved to Martinsburg, West Virginia in 1999. Bennington area, and his parents lived right down the road pretty much, less than half a mile from my house. So we grew up together. I hung out with his older brother, his older sister, and stuff like that. Then when I started getting locked up, going to jail and then going to prison, we kind of started, splitting ways. We used to skateboard back together years ago at the Bennington church. They used to have a little skate park, a little half pipe and a little bit of stuff. But so after I had ended up getting locked up and going away, how did you end up wanting to join the military and then going forward?
Well, alright, so I went into the Mountaineer Challenge Academy, which is a paramilitary school, which is where you march around and you gotta wear the
around this area, Martinsburg area.
It's in Kingwood, West Virginia. It's about 3 hours away. Yeah.
I've heard of it, but I've never heard of Kingwood.
Kingwood, West Virginia. That's where the Camp Dawson National Guard base is. That's where it's located. It's on that national.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of fucking nowhere.
That's how Anthony Center is. Greenbrier, West Virginia, out in the middle of nowhere, just trees, mountains, bushes,
It's because
bears.
if you run away, they have plenty of time to catch you.
You'll never get away.
You never do. I watched plenty of people. One dude ran away and he fucking never came back. He died.
How long was you there for?
6 months.
Okay.
6 month program.
And then after you get done this program, do you go back to regular school or?
You can go back to high school if you're of age and that's something you want to do. You can't be 18 and go, but you can turn 18 while you're in there.
Okay.
You got to go as 17 and have a birthday while you're there.
Before you're of age, pretty much.
Right. And then some people I knew, they did go back to high school, got their actual diploma, because when I went, you weren't allowed to get your diploma yet. It was still a GED-based school. Now if you go, you can get your diploma and pretty much graduate early. So if you're out there and you're listening and you hate school, just go ahead and go to the Mountaineer Challenge Academy, finish up. You get to go when you're 16. You know what I mean? You'll be done by the time you're probably 17.
After that, then what?
Alright, so while we were in there, they had a Navy recruiter come in, and he came in this badass blue camo uniform. You know what I mean? I was like, man,
that's dope.
That's dope. I want to do what he does. So, and my dad and them were in the Navy and all that stuff, and I was already kind of thinking about military, but I was thinking Marine Corps. But the Marine Corps, they weren't really allowing people with GEDs to go into the Marine Corps.
I gotcha.
But the Navy would. And
did you have to score higher with the GED?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to score above a 50. I got a 53.
Nice.
Yeah. It was
very nice. So when were you first recruited and shipped off for training? So how was that? How was training for the Navy?
Training was fun, but I was already accustomed to it because I'd just gotten out of the Mountaineer Challenge Academy a little bit before.
So you was used to structure
I was used to the structure. I was used to the marching. I was used to the commands. I was used to the people getting in your face and yelling at you type deal. Because at the Mountaineer Challenge Academy, it was worse a little bit back then because there was really nothing holding them back except for a couple state laws. They just couldn't fucking hit us. You know what I mean? Like, but when we got to the Navy boot camp, there was a bunch of laws set in place. Like, you could still be like really chewed out and all that stuff, but you weren't gonna get hit. And shit like that. I was already there, you know what I mean? Like, I had already been through the game. The only thing with me being in the Navy boot camp was different because, like, it wasn't Play-Doh classes. It was like, you know what I mean? I had to remember 20 fucking people on a list just in the chain of command, like, and you had to like during the inspection, like right off the get, and you catch me lacking a lot because like
you catch me lacking a lot. Oh shit!
Because like I got lucky as fuck. If they would have called on me enough times and I didn't know that shit, they would have sent me back in boot camp. But like they didn't call on me enough. I guess because they liked me enough and they knew I didn't know that shit.
they kind of left me alone because they already knew what was up. So after out of boot camp, right? Deployment. How was that? Being on, I know we've kind of spoke, off camera about being on a ship. Not, I think I called it a boat last time. A ship, right?
Ship.
A ship. All right. So being on a ship, how long were you normally on these ships, and about how many people were on it during this time?
My deployment was about 6 months long. We did a sail around type. It was a South Pacific deployment. It was because my ship was brand new.
Okay.
And we sailed it around to where like it was commissioned at in San Francisco, California. We started in Mississippi and went all the way down around.
Kind of like a break-in period with a ship or something?
Well, sort of. Yeah, we did a lot of trials and got a lot of certifications as the ships need, and you know what I mean. Did a whole lot of stuff I probably can't tell you. So we went up to San Francisco. We had Fleet Week.
Fleet Week.
Fleet Week. Yeah.
It's like a car show, but everyone shows up in their military boats.
Yeah,
ships.
It's a big ass party for a week.
Is it?
Oh my god!
Do you guys have to wear your military regalia?
Such a military, Navy 1940s type dude.
Because everyone was.
Man, one time, we're all dressed blues because it's like winter time, so it's dress blue time, and man, we're walking around all fucking drunk. And one time it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm walking back and I'm trying to find the ship again. And like this old ass music is playing like from like the 30s and shit because I'm passing these like vintage restaurants and shit. In San Francisco, there's all kinds of stuff. I was like, man, I feel like I'm in the goddamn 40s. Yeah.
Oh man, I remember seeing all these older photos with all of the Navy people in their regale stuff. I'm not sure what they're called. Uniforms. All the older photos when they're in the all white uniforms along the boats and along the docks, or in the all blue uniforms, just thousands of them.
Yeah, we have some pictures like that. I don't know where the fuck they are, but I'm sure there's pictures of me standing in this big ass line around.
You got any? Do you have any photos of you in your?
I do.
Uniform?
I do. I have a couple.
We'll have to throw those up.
Yeah, I got a couple.
So, your experience being in the Brig, right? How long was you in the Brig for, and what was your experience being in there?
All right, so military
confinement
sentences, I suppose you could say, are different. So you have 3 levels of court you can go to in court martial. You got summary, you got general, and then you got I think it's special, like a special court martial is like
some crazy stuff.
That's the one you don't want to go to. That's like you got the admirals of like the Navy looking at you, and they're all like it's like real court type shit. General is like
Oh, my God.
little less worse than that. You know what I mean? You still got like a judge. It's like an admiral, but it's a judge. It's a JAG. And then you got
the old TV show. Okay.
JAG is it's actually a job in the Navy. It's a naval officer that's a lawyer.
Okay.
It's a Navy like.
I remember watching that old TV show back in the day. Okay, makes
It's like
sense
a ship
now.
lawyer.
All right.
So that's what JAG does. But there's like a higher, you know what I mean? There's whatever. I was enlisted. They just told us that we did wrong. That's about it.
So sentencing though, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right, so the summary one, that's the one I had. That's when they summon somebody off your ship, and it's somebody that you pretty much know and you see every day. That's what I had, and we did it in a barge. And I had already admitted to all the crimes that I had committed. So, and I was a 4.0 EP sailor. These are all things that they consider. You know what I mean? I was really good at what I did. I just fucked up really bad on the outside, being drunk all the time. So
it had nothing to do with anything military wise. This was
absolutely
civilian
not.
stuff.
I had, for the most part, where I was at in my career, pretty good military honors at that point.
So how are these facilities?
So, all right, so I had a 15-day sentence. That's because I knew the dude or whatever. And the facility that you go into, it's like, I'm not exactly sure how like the
jails and stuff like that.
Federal prison is, because I've never actually been to actual federal prison, like on a civilian sector. But
that's what's equivalent to.
Military federal prison is very controlled. You know what I mean? You're military prisoner. You're not really military, so they could treat you a little worse than you normally get treated. I spent 30 minutes standing at attention staring at a people aren't going to rape you poster. So
yeah. They make you stand in a corner?
It's not like at a corner, you're just staring at the wall. You know what I mean? And then like you go in and you're directly going to one room, you know what I mean, stripping naked, getting into the, you know what I mean, your fresh uniforms. I had to buy all brand new uniforms just to go in there because they stripped me in my rank.
What do they make you wear in there?
Uniforms.
Uniforms?
It's camo.
Okay.
Yeah, but you don't have to like blouse your boots or anything or wear a cover because you're not technically military.
At that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I didn't even wear my U.S. Navy thing. It just said Wilkerson because I was not in the U.S. Navy at that current time. The facilities, from what I've seen on like Lockdown 23-1 and shit, yeah, my facilities were pretty good.
Now, food-wise, did they feed you decent, or was it, you know?
The first night I almost didn't get fed, cause like
it was probably past dinner time.
Yeah.
Right, you came in past that time. No one's gonna be in that kitchen.
Well, and I went straight to maximum security federal holding because of my charges. Mm-hmm. I was a red tag prisoner right off the jump, so I went straight to 23-1. Just stripped butt naked, do your thing, blah blah blah. They gave me a prisoner handbook and said, "Here you go." You know what I mean?
Were you in like a cell setting, or was it like?
It was like I guess 8x12, whatever you call it. It was really skinny and
long.
A little long. You know what I mean? I had like one little tiny window where I could kind of see the outside, and
you could see outside. I know some people seeing outside. For anybody that's ever been locked up, you know, or for people that's never been locked up. So in most cells, there's a small window at the door so they can see in, and then sometimes for the inmate, there's a window to get, I guess, natural sunlight into the cell. So I think Supermax, you're not seeing daylight at all, though. But there's a nice little, probably a 3-foot long strip of light that might be like 3 inches wide. You're not going to stick your head through that thing, best believe that. You'll stick your arm through if it gets broken, but being able to just look outside it helps.
It does, and we were on a military base because it was a military consolidated brig, so it was on a Marine base. It was ran by Marines. That's who watched us. Those are the CEOs or whatever you want to call them. But
were they mean though? Like, you know what I'm saying? Were they buttholes for no reason?
at first, like an intake, because like I was going straight to the, you know what I mean. I was an asshole from the get. You know what I mean. They already knew what I was there for. They were like, "Fuck this guy, throw him in the hole." You know what I mean. So that's what happened. And I looked at one dude. He said, "What the fuck you looking at?" I was like,
nothing.
I was like, "Oh my god, you're lucky you're not the only fucking one here."
I want to be drilled so bad.
And then when I got to general population after they let me out of 23-1, and I got to see how everything actually worked, it was pretty chill. It actually wasn't that fucking bad.
How many, was it like pod wise? How many individuals were in each section when you finally got to general population?
I was in a temporary, like, I think they call it A-pod or whatever, but it was like the temporary unit. I was only there for a couple days. A lot of those guys were still waiting trial, you know what I mean? Some of them were waiting to get sent to like Leavenworth or somewhere way worse.
Leavenworth. Now, we kind of spoke earlier. I had always heard Leavenworth was a military prison, but you said it's also civilian, correct?
They have a civilian sector and a military sector.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's for like if you're